For rules 134C, action by disciplinary board. So the registrar will make appointment of the meeting on the disciplinary board with the complainants with yes, like this. Okay, so rules 134D, the service of notice and document. So the notice sent out to the complainants to the address shall be deemed as the latest as registered in the board. And then once the notice is sent out, is deemed to have been duly served on the registered valuers. Okay. So for the rules of 135, the appearance before the disciplinary board.
Waiting.
Yes.
It's not only to the registered valuers. The term that we use is to the registrants. So it can be registered valuer, it can be registered estate agent, it can be registered property manager. So the terminology is not just registered valuers, it's registrants.
Registered.
Registrants.
Registrants. Oh, okay.
Okay.
So for the rules of 135, appearance before the disciplinary board. So the registrants shall be entitled to appear before the board to rebut or explain the matters of the complaints. So for the sub 2 for 135, rules 135, within 21 days of the service upon, the registrants shall deliver the notice of intention to appear or a reply on the charges. If the registrant fail to send in the notice of intention or any replies, the disciplinary board can consider act upon the complaints without further reference. Or if the registrant fail to appear before the disciplinary board, even though he has already promised to appear, the disciplinary board can proceed to consider and decide on the complaint or any adjournment for a further date. So,
waiting.
Yes.
If the registrant choose not to come, and the board can decide to, on the decision of the disciplinary board may decide the decision whether to impose the registrar may be found guilty or not guilty. What is the terminology in law that refers to the decision that is made without the presentation or without the appearance of the registrant? When the registrant is not there, the court also akan buat macam tu. In few of the court cases also, if you did not come, the court may just decide on you without you being there. So in this case, the board may also decide. If you are not present, the board may choose to decide or may call you back. But if the board decides the decision is made without your presence, what is the law terminology in relation to that? Agak-agak ni lah.
Okay, I tak tahu.
You tak tahu. Anybody knows what is the terminology? As far as the law is concerned, Lik Guan, you tengah cari apa tu Lik Guan?
Cuba tengah cari yang apa profesor kami.
Apa term dia? Without your presence. The court may decide without your presence. What's the terminology dia?
Trial in exterior.
Pardon? Itu main game lah. Ex parte. Ex parte. E-X-P-A-R-T-E. Ex parte means you are not there.
Ex parte.
Ex parte. E-X-P-A-R-T-E. Ada? Pernah dengar? Pernah dapat the word ex parte? Cuba you keep in Google sekarang pun boleh. Ex parte, what does it mean? Ex parte, do you have it? Dapat? Richie, Paul?
Ex parte, yes.
Ex parte meaning?
Meaning?
Yeah, what does it mean, ex parte?
Meaning that if you are not, even you are not present in the, even you are not appear before any
Even you are not there, they can still make the decision whether you are guilty or not guilty. That's what it means.
yes.
Okay. Now proceed. Senang sajalah. Apa susah sangat. Don't make life difficult. Okay. Continue.
So for the so for the rules 137, the power of disciplinary board to extend the time to reply. The disciplinary board have the power to extend the time within or notice of intention to appear. It can be altered to the date of meeting provided adequate notice of such alternation given to the registrant. Okay, so for the rule of 138, the decision of disciplinary board.
Rachel, you buat berapa slides ni?
My slide
How many slides do you provide your group?
My group, Minyao, can you please?
Saya cakap berapa slide? Tak ada, 10 minit saja je.
Can 10 minutes
I thought instruction 5 slides only. Not okay. Okay, never mind. Continue. That's why it's very detailed.
Okay, so for the decision of disciplinary board, the board can choose to dismiss the charge or exercise the power of section 24 sub 1 of the Act.
What does the section 24 sub 1 say? Subsection 1. What does it mean? What does it refer to?
Section 24 sub 1. Wait subject to the provision of this part, if a valuer, appraiser, estate agent, or property manager, or a professional valuer, professional estate agent, or professional property manager, whose name has been placed in the register or the register of professional, as the case may be. It's like cancellation, suspension.
You will go into the detail of this part.
Yes.
I think you can proceed. You can proceed with the next slide. The board member.
Okay. So for the rules 140, notification of decision of the disciplinary board, the notification shall send by the registrar onto the registrant in an appropriate form specified in the 10 schedule, which are Form B, Form C, Form D, Form E, Form H, and Form G.
Yes, correct. Okay.
Okay, so the summary is,
it's not mistake.
As the flow goes from section.
Yes. It's not mistake. Section 24(1) and A until J. It's not, the term is not mistake. Why do you put mistake?
It's why I put mistake, because it is, how to say because the registrant is being complained, so the registrant is under a mistake, so I put mistake because it's clear for us to understand.
Not mistake, offense.
Offense, okay.
It cannot be mistake, it's offense. You have made an offense. Make an offense means you go against the provision of the Act and rules. Offense. Okay. And then you have rule 123A, you can complain. And then the complaint will be investigated by the CIC, Complaint Investigation Committee, and they will prepare a report. And they can be subject to further investigation if the first part is not fulfilled, is not satisfied, it is not up to the satisfaction level. And then they will go to the disciplinary board, right? And then you have notice of complaint. At the same time, when you have already submitted to the disciplinary board, then the notice of complaint will be issued, then action by the disciplinary board. Okay, never mind. So if I can share, at the board level now, before we go to the complaint investigation committee, there is another layer, complaint management committee. If you can And insert complaint management committee. I think Dr. Zaf will go through in this one, but I don't think she can explain on this one better than me because I am the former board member. Right? So we have complaint and then we have atas sikit. Dia tak sama level dengan CIC. Dia atas sikit daripada CIC. Dia kena complain and then you dekat you punya complaint tu ada arrow complaint management committee dekat situ. Dekat complaint, okay. Sama level dengan complaint. Dia tak dalam besar. The complaint tu yang ada arrow to the box. Not the offense to the complaint first. The offense, you go to the complaint. Previous slide ni betul. Previous table ni. Okay. Okay, the complaint tu yang ada arrow to the left, complaint yang ada arrow to the right, ada satu box sebelah complaint. Bukan, tu bawah, sebelah dia. Ke kanan. Because as what you have dalam you punya investigation committee complaint tu, cuba kalau you move down, macam gitu, yes, okay. Kalau you ada dalam complaint investigation committee kan you ada mana satu ni, apa ni saya tengok. Macam gitu. Correct, okay, now correct. Wait, alright. Okay, nak besarkan sikit the box yang untuk investigation committee investigation bagi kecil saya. Complaint management committee. But the arrow is not like that. The arrow is not linked to the section 24. Section 24 we link direct to the bottom. We point an arrow to rules 133A. Okay.
So means like it's after 133A before CIC.
Not after. It's just a horizontal to 133A. The link from 133A to the right. You buat to the right kan? Arrow you sekarang as if you berjalan daripada 24, you berjalan complain. You cannot have complaint management committee berjalan serentak dengan the arrow yang dekat atas tu.
Now I'm not controlling lah, it's me yang controlling not me. Let's go with please.
So you have the rule 133A complaint. Sekejap, I don't have the board lah. Dia kita ada kat sini. CMC. And then baru pergi kepada CIC. So ini is open. Okay, nampak?
No.
Dekat lagi? Can you see? I just met the WhatsApp for you all.
Best.
Okay, but my handwriting is just so bad. It's just me. Okay, dapat? Baik macam gitu. Yes, correct. And the arrow comes under the complaint management committee, baru dia pergi kepada, now your arrow have to be shifted to 134A is under the complaint management committee. It's not under complaint saja. Because from 133, it will be dealt by CMC. The CMC will refer to the CIC. That is the thing. You have to move the whole row, shifted the whole row to the right. Okay. Boleh? The row tu yang tak betul sikit. Okay. We have CMC and then we have CMC. 1, 2, 4, 8. And then we have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dapat? Okay. Sekejap, waiting. You have to shift it to the side. Dapat? You have complaint and then you have CMC and then you move CMC bawah dia tu baru ada CIC. As of now, your arrow, you can refer to my WhatsApp, the rest, the group yang lain. Nanti you betulkan lah balik. But this is the one that I send a WhatsApp is supposed to be the correct diagram.
Okay.
Okay. But you know where to pick up, eh? Okay.
Now a bit technical problem. Later I will settle.
Yes, I know. Okay. Can we just proceed? Summarize.
Summarize. Okay. So until 134B. So
Yeah.
after a notice of complaint, the disciplinary board will take action. So whether the registrant are going to appear or not will be under rules 135. So after 135, after appearance, the board will make decision and then will give out notice on the rules of 140, whether to dismiss or to like discharge or cancellation or admonishment. Okay. So afterwards, it will be published if the registrant is under cancellation or suspension. It will required to publish in newspaper.
Yes.
And then the members required a restoration of rights under rules number 143.
Okay.
143 state what? Wait, to apply in Form H to restore his right and privilege. Oh.
Okay. That's
Okay.
all. Belum habis?
Habis. Ya, habis lah. I think.
Yeah. Thank you to the group. You have actually summarized the lecture, I think in week 12. So probably I will come back, or probably this will be done by Dr. Zafira. But I must say this is a very detailed part of the disciplinary action, disciplinary procedure. Okay, basically what is done at the board's level is when we receive a complaint, it's not necessarily when the board receives a complaint. The board may also on their own initiative do investigation and then refer the investigation case to the CMC first. We will have the CMC Complaint Management Committee. It is not mentioned in the rule about CMC because CMC is only more on the operation side. We only have a complaint investigation committee as far as the rules is concerned. Okay, so at the CMC, because we don't want everything to go to CIC, because we don't have enough capacity to do that. So the reason why we have CMC is that the reason so that it will then filter first. All the complaints that goes to the board, CMC will first filter whether it requires further investigation or not. It requires that is not under the board's prerogative, it's not under the board's purview, your complaint is under other ministry or it's under police case, then we straight away decide and reject the case, or we go back to the whoever complained, we will inform him this case is not under the purview of the board. But if the case is under the purview of the board, purview means it is within the jurisdiction of the board as far as the role, as far as the function of the board is concerned. Okay, so if that is the case, not to say prima facie case at this level because it's only being filtered so that we are supposed to submit to CIC or not for further investigation. So at the CIC level, you must have 5 and the quorum shall be 2. There are only 2 members. Because I used to conduct few CIC cases, so there's only me and the other chairman, or she, the panel, and the chairman. The chairman did not write the report. The panel will write the report. Okay? And if there is a prima facie case, then we will submit the case to the disciplinary board. If there is no prima facie case, we will present to the full board meeting about our findings and we say there's no prima facie case and the case is dismissed. So if the full board endorse what has been reported by the CIC, then it's either the registrants will be called by the disciplinary board or it's just will be dismissed at that level. Boleh faham? Boleh Ashwin? Ashwin?
Kind of lost. Do you mind repeating it? I
still want to explain, is it?
No. I caught it until chairman and panel will write the report.
Go back to the basic one, okay? Go back to the basic one. Ada cakap tadi, sepatutnya yang ni will be discussed in another lecture, proper lecture. We have a tajuk for this lecture. Never mind. If the board receive any complaints, or the board can also on their initiative do investigation of any case that we feel that is an offence being done by the registrar. So there are two scenarios. One, we receive from the public, so there is a complaint against the wrongdoing of a registrant. Two, the board itself may run investigation. For example, if we note from the newspaper, you advertise, especially on the estate agent, you advertise without your RTA number. And then when we go around, because we have our investigation officer, when the investigation officer goes around any neighborhood or any part and we see the signage, the signboard, for sale, and then you did not fulfill the requirements of the signboard. So that is the initiative by the board. So the investigation officer will then come back to the board office with the photos, with the date, and then refer to the CMC, whether there is a case or not for this one to be further investigated by CIC. You get me? Boleh faham, So'in? Boleh faham, Amira? Okay. So when that is the case, because CMC, Complaint Management Committee, is just to filter whether ada case ke tak ada case yang further investigation is required. If the case is within our purview, so you know the signboard is within the board's purview, it's not within the local authority purview, then we will proceed with CIC. If not, then we just dismiss. Because there are cases when for example, in the property management, the complaint comes to the board on the register. But then it's actually not the registrant, it's actually more on the management of the joint of the MC, the management corporation. It's not the duty of the registrant, but it is under the management corporation. So for example, the complaint sampah, they should have clean the block every 3 days. But then it appears that for a week there have not been any cleaning. So they complain, the property manager. So it's not the property manager. It's supposed to be the complaint to the management corporation. But if that complaint comes to the board, the CMC will then filter it out. This is not our case. This is management committee case. So this should be under the it's under the MC. MC means under the purview of the Strata Management Act. It's not under the Act of the Valuers, Appraisers, and Estate Agents, Property Managers Act. That case for not doing anything with the building is under the Strata Management Act. Boleh faham? Itu contoh. Okay. Now at the CIC level, there will be a minimum of 2% to further investigate. At this level, we will call the complainant, whoever made complaint. We will investigate further whether there is a prima facie case, the case or not, to be further tabled to the board's meeting first. First is the full board meeting. At the full board meeting, then the report will be prepared by the CIC members who were given the task to do the investigation. They will refer to the full board to get the endorsement whether the report which stated prima facie case is accepted or not accepted. So at the board meeting, the column of the board must say there is a prima facie case or the case should be dismissed. So if there is a prima facie case, then the case will be referred to the disciplinary board meeting. So there will be another meeting to hear to the disciplinary board for any prima facie case that has been tabled at the full board meeting by the CIC committee. Boleh faham? And then only you proceed with a disciplinary board. We have a disciplinary board and we decide whether guilty or not guilty. Whether the decision is ex parte or the decision is when the registrant appear in front of the disciplinary board members. Boleh faham sekarang? Okay. Right. So I'm not going to go into detail because this is actually part of the lecture in week 13 if I'm not mistaken. Nanti kan you dah pandai sebelum sampai sana. Dah lagi bagus sekali. Okay. Thank you to the group. Any other question? Good. Okay, can we move? Fourth group. I think this should be the final group. Atau kita dah sempat, kalau sempat kita ada another group. Because I need to go through your assignment. Unless you all nak berhenti lambat sikit. Okay, fourth group, thank you to third group. Fourth group, conduct examination. Susan, Kayun, Inkai.
In Kai, you can start already.
Yeah. Okay. Good morning to everyone. I'm Yubin Kai. Along with me is my roommate Yokai and Susan. So we are going to talk about Act 242 part 5. Let's go. Next slide. Okay. So first of all, I will talk about the Act first. So the Act is about the Act is under Section 11, examiners and other. Yes.
What is Binkai? What is the significance of a SETI here? What does it mean?
Huh?
Why you have the photos of the SETI, the sofa here?
Oh, because this slide is talk about the Act only. So you know the content is a little bit. So I put some picture.
Binkai, you can put pictures, but as far as PowerPoint is concerned, the picture should be related to your substance.
Oh, okay.
Dia bukan letak ini picture. Baru you should letak examiners je. Gambar examiners saja kan.
Oh, I letak gambar Dr. Wan.
Gambar saya buat apa?
You kan examiner kat TPC.
Terus pay TPC, tak boleh.
No, just joking. Alright. So
I'm not joking because I have examined one former student. Masa dia kelas, dia memang suka panik dengan saya. And bila dia datang TPC bukan after 2 years, after 10 years. She's very old already. Old lah, not as old as me.
Alright.
When she sees me, the table is still there. Dia panik. Until she didn't come for valuer. She came for the estate agent punya interview. And she can fail sampai 4 kali. So the 5th time, I told the chairman, Datuk Sina, I told Datuk, cannot lah, I cannot interview her. She see my face, she panic. She tak boleh answer. So can you take her? Macam gitulah. So when you say panic, you cannot panic jumpa saya in future. Wah, teruk lah macam ni. After 10 years also, she see me, she panic. She came all the way from Johor. Kalau Pulau Bali, not so bad. She came all the way from Johor. 4th time. So the 5th time, she go through with Datuk Sina, she's more relaxed. And she passed. Simple thing tanya, title search, boleh buat dekat mana, kita boleh jawab. Marah betul. Okay.
Okay. So
joke, but it's not really a joke. Okay, Minkai, sambung.
Okay. Let me proceed with the Section 11 sub 1. The board may appoint examiners or other officer and employee if necessary. So this one is straight and clear lah. So they need to employ someone who are highly esteemed, well known in the.
It's only appoint.
Oh, appoint.
Appoint and employ is different, no? Appoint only. Just case to case basis.
Okay, I see. Okay, so the under subsection 2 is the appointed examiners and officers for such period receive such salaries and allowance and be subjected to such and other terms and conditions of service as may be determined by the board. So this one also straight and clear lah. Need to pay the allowance.
You know how much is the allowance for the TPC that the examiners will pay?
No, because I'm not.
Third schedule. Anything go back to this third schedule. Ada tak dalam third schedule?
Let me check first.
Okay. Dalam it's not third schedule, it's under part 3. Under part 3, under part 2 fees. Sebelum 6 schedule. Sebelum 6 schedule. Under part 2 fees. You should quote there. Because it's related with the rules. Dalam rule, kita ada third schedule. Dalam third schedule dan kita ada fifth schedule. Fifth schedule is about examination and fees. Kita ada part 1, kita ada part 2. Is fees. Do you get me? Dapat tak, Susan?
Under third schedule, is it?
Under fifth schedule, bukan third schedule. Fifth
schedule.
Fee schedule is about examination and fees. Macam mana you boleh miss? This is part of your part ni. Okay,
Alright, we will add in our slide later.
this is examination. Fees is under the next group. But under fee schedule, right? You have part 1, part 2. You tengok part 2 last sekali. Part 2 dia ada part 2 fees, part A, part B. Look at part B. Look at part B. Dapat? Before the suit schedule.
Under which schedule already, doctor? I saw what I
Fees.
if
Under fee schedule, you have part 1, part 2. The part 2, you have part A, part B. Look at part B. Or it's going to be detailed out by another group, I suppose. Tak apa, kita go through sekarang dulu.
Okay.
oh
Under fee schedule, you have part 1, part 2. Under part 2, you have part A, part B.
okay.
Okay, look at part B.
So per attendance for a meeting is 75 ringgit Malaysia.
Okay.
For transport, the allowance for transport is 60 cents per km.
Okay.
Okay, so for lodging is 180 per day.
Lagi.
And then for subsistence is 100 ringgit per day.
Apa dia subsistence?
Not sure because even me myself also not sure what is the meaning of lodging.
Alah. Not sure tunggu datang buat apa. Google sekarang. What is subsistence? Apa masalahnya boleh Google. Dulu kena cari dictionary. Apa dia Ashwin? What is subsistence?
Supporting life.
Ha?
Supporting life.
Example?
Food.
Makan lah. Allow makan. Kita cakap meals allowance actually.
Biasa dia makan je.
Apa masalahnya? Meals allowance saja makan. Dinner, tea. Boleh?
Oh,
Faham?
okay, okay. Boleh.
Sekarang tak tahu pula. Subsistence just makan lah. Allow makan. Okay. Come back to you punya ni. Okay. Part A, part B. So you tengok. This is done in 1986. The rules is 1986. In 1986, if someone pay you 75 ringgit per attendance, if your meeting is like 9 sampai 12, it's considered as luxury. Right? The transport 1986 is 60 cents per kilometer. It's just a lot. The lodging also, you can get good hotels 180. You can get makan $100 per day, which is luxury. But this is 1986. It's implemented 1980. Coming to year 2020, you rasa 75 ringgit is a lot? If you have a TPC, you have many candidates. You begin your candidate, the first candidate will begin at 8:30 in the morning. We seldom start at 8:30 because the panel will come 8:50 and we need to have our breakfast. Because if we don't have breakfast, next meal will be at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. That's why we need to have our meal first. So, breakfast. 8:30, 3 hours, you need 11:30 baru habis. 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30 baru habis. Kalau habis, first candidate. Kadang-kadang boleh last until 4 hours. For 12 hours. The next candidate, kalau dia ada few sections, satu section setengah jam. So, dia akan finish pukul 2. You still can't have your lunch because you have another candidate waiting. So, you have another candidate waiting. Likely, you will have your next meal, next lunch, pukul 2:30, pukul 3, pukul 3:30. Right? And you will only be given morning nasi lemak tangling lah. Nasi lemak tangling tu bagus kalau you minta. If not, nasi lemak biasa saja. How much saja nasi lemak cost you? Suzan, nasi lemak cost how much? Kalau ambil lauk paling best lah.
I think 7 or 8.
Yeah, about $10 only. And then lunch, katalah saya makan Subway. Mahal lah tu Subway. Kalau nasi ayam murah sikit. Subway paling mahal berapa?
20.
15 something.
Tak sempat. You don't take 1 foot long. You only 6 inch saja. Siapa nak makan 1 foot long tu? The most is only about $15 itu saja. And then you have fee tak ada because you finish. That's all. So that is the allowance that you charge. It's only about 50 ringgit. And you will get paid 100 ringgit. And if you have 3 candidates, those days is just per meeting. The board has to approve per candidate 75 ringgit for the panel. You imagine the panel is the company's director. So even if a lecturer like me, if I go and give a lecture, part-time lecture, I'm paid at least 200 per hour. And the board is only giving me per attendance. Boleh nampak tak? Boleh nampak tak? That it is just not commensurate with the current situation. But we can't do anything because it is in the rule. Menteri tak sign. Kita dah ubah, but Menteri tak sign. So we have cases when the panel said, I have to spend my time half a day there. How much do I get? I have to take it. I have to ask, but this is concerning my working hours. So we don't have much choice, but we have to increase. Right? Okay. So you jangan nak jadi board members is luxury lah. The examiners, one of the examiners' job is to do TPC. Okay, proceed.
Okay, next slide, please. All right, so I will talk about the rules after this. So, okay, so it is under section 11 now. Okay, so it is Valuer, Appraiser, and Estate Agent Rules 1986, Part 5 Examination. This is about examination. So first of all, I will talk about the conduct of the examination. So the board shall conduct examination for candidates desiring to be registered as valuer, estate agent, and probationary valuers or probationary estate agent at such time as the board deems fit. So this means the board has the responsibility to carry out those examinations for the people to be the valuers, estate agent, and for the probationary valuers, probationary estate agent. So,
Macam mana probationary estate agent? Do you have exam for probationary estate agent?
But this examination under the rules 29, it written that the examination
to be a probationary estate agent, you have to pass the board exam. Okay, okay. Go. Right.
Okay. So so for the purpose of but without prejudice, okay, to paragraph 1, so which is I mentioned just now, about the examination shouldn't be any prejudice. So the board may appoint the institution of surveyor, which is RISM, okay, or any other institution of higher learning or professional institution like lecturers from maybe public youth to conduct the examination on its behalf. So, okay, so let's proceed to date and centers of examination. The board have the responsibility to publish in at least 2 local newspapers the date and the venue, and the center for this examination.
Yeah.
Okay, third one, we talk about application. So, anyone who is desired for sitting on the exam shall apply to the registrar in the form prescribed in the 5th schedule.
Yeah.
And then, application form duly signed by the candidate and his principal must be submitted to the registrar before such date as may be specified by the board. So it's like a period for you to hand in the form to nominate yourself for the examination. Okay, so application must submit the application either personally or register post. This one I think is my email, if under personally. Okay, so the receipt of all applications shall be acknowledged by the registrar. So all of those forms should be acknowledged by the registrar. So that means you have to ask the registrar. So next I will talk about the eligibility. So candidate for this examination shall not less than 17 years of age. So age of 17 is the minimum requirement. Okay. So So candidate for the valuable examination must show proof to the satisfaction of the board either that they process not less than 2 principal level passes as Sijil Tinggi Pelajaran Malaysia level or its equivalent and a pass in Bahasa Malaysia at the Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia level.
So take note, a pass in Bahasa Malaysia is a must.
Yes.
It's a must. Because
Okay.
we have cases when the candidate, when the complainant, he actually did not get a pass for his Bahasa Malaysia, which means kalau dia tak ada pass in Bahasa Malaysia, can he get SPM? He can still get SPM, right? Can he still get the certificate of SPM? I'm not sure about the current. Those days, if you don't have Bahasa Malaysia, you only get CJR, you not get SPM. Tak ada ya, Susan? Sama ya? You have to have a pass in Bahasa Malaysia.
Okay.
And he many complain, this guy, many complain, bawa kepada mana tu, Attorney General, that the board has abused the power for not accepting me because I don't have a pass in Bahasa Malaysia. Why must you put a pass in Bahasa Malaysia in your act? He challenged the board for putting Bahasa Malaysia in the act. Kalau you nak jawab apa? Izan? Sasha, apa you nak jawab?
Yes, I lost my connection just now for a while.
Lah from you. Next one. Unit one. Kalau tu lah, what is your response? When he challenged the board, when he challenged the act for putting a requirement of Bahasa Malaysia as a mandatory requirement to sit for the examination conducted by the board. And he bawa dia punya cases, dia bundle and bundle. He said he has all the contribution to the nation. He has all the other qualification, but he don't have that Bahasa Malaysia at SPM level. And he now wants to take the exam at the board. Dia bawa case ni pada Attorney General. So what will be your response? Agak-agaknya lah Lee Guan. First, go back to the name of the country.
Okay lah. My response is simple lah. I'm Min Kai. Okay, if it's me, I would say you live in Malaysia, you don't know how to speak Bahasa Malaysia, malu tak? Senang.
That's it.
That's it.
Because if you don't like Bahasa Malaysia, then you say, why Bahasa Malaysia? You like it or not? It is Bahasa Malaysia. This is our national language because this is Malaysia. That's why we put a requirement. You go to Britain, you go to Europe, you go to France. Have you been to France? Have you been to France punya city yang famous yang dia tower tu?
Paris.
Paris. Dia tak sebut Paris kan, dia sebut Paris. Have you been to Paris? If you speak English, nobody will attend to you. You have to speak French. So what's wrong with Bahasa Malaysia? Why is he challenging? I don't understand this guy. But this is what happened. At the board, they have all sorts of consulting. And then when we advise him, if you can't go to the board, go to the private institution. Not all private institutions. So that's not a case. Okay, can you proceed? Susan, apa sebab you punya bunyi macam gitu tu? Susan, are you going to present or not?
Yes, I
No. I'm still the one who presenting.
Okay,
It's
Susan.
important.
Okay, so next we are still with the eligibility. Okay. Then so Susan, can you mute your mic?
Yes.
Okay. So we come to the candidate for the estate agent examination must show proof to the satisfaction of the board that they process not less than a Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia or its equivalent with not less than 5 subject pass, of which at least 3 shall be credit level passes and at least 1 of the credit level passes shall be mathematics or science account or mathematics or science or account or commerce. Okay, so this means So they have to pass lah. They still have to pass the SPM with no less than 5 subject pass.
Okay.
Okay, with at least 3 shall be credit level above C lah.
Okay.
Okay, and then one of the credit level, one of the C must be mathematics, science, account, or commerce.
Okay.
Okay, so then next we come to candidate for the valuer examination must satisfy the board that they have been working full-time in an office of a registered valuer or appraiser assisting in valuation work for at least 6 months before the date of the application to sit for the examination, or they are engaged in full-time study in a technical college, an institution, or a university approved by the board.
Okay.
This basically means they have to work for full time at least 6 months before the date of the application.
Yep.
Okay. The second is they have the degree lah.
Right. If I can explain here, the valuers examinations as of now is run by RISM, right? So it's run by RISM on behalf of the board, because the board shall conduct the examination and the board may appoint. In this case, we have so far appointed only RISM. The board may also appoint, for example, the board may also appoint UN. The board may also appoint other professional institutions to run the exam. So not necessarily RISM. Right? So as of now, only RISM is provide the exam for the valuers at the valuers level. Okay.
Okay.
Sambung.
Okay. So for estate agent, the requirement is same as the valuer. You have to work for 6 months before the examination, before the application, and then you have to have the degree lah. You have to have the cert.
Right.
Okay. So I proceed to the valuer examination. This is a little bit long. I will try to make it short. Okay.
MK, can you please hand it to me, because next time I will highlight this one.
Oh, okay. So estate agent examination, I will pass to you.
Yeah. Continue to the next slide.
Okay lah. I go to syllabus lah. Direct go to syllabus lah. Okay. Syllabi. Okay. Then the syllabi is outlined by the board. Right.
Okay, the syllabus is presented by the board, it's organized by the board.
Okay, so the examiners, supervisors, and invigilators. So this means that the board may, from time to time, appoint suitable person to be examiners, supervisors, and invigilators for this examination. Okay, so the fees to be paid to such examiners is prescribed in the 5th schedule, like we see just now lah.
Apa?
75 ringgit per attendance.
Bukan, itu meeting.
Huh?
Examiner for the exam. Examiners for the exam is under part A. Yang tadi meeting, examiner committee members. Part B. Ya kak? Betul. Examiners part 42, examiners for exam is under part A of part 2. As under the fee is for setting the exam question 200 ringgit per. For correcting the paper 7 ringgit 50 cents per paper.
Oh.
70 only. Those days is big money. Now it's not, because now our examiner part-timer, they are paid $10 per paper. Itu pun dah rendah.
Okay.
Okay, so 750 is just like macam kacang putih lah. Okay.
Okay, so the passing mark, I will proceed with the passing mark. The passing mark shall be 50%.
Right.
Okay, so we talk about credit. The candidate may take all or any of the subject prescribed for any examination in one examination at one sitting and be given credit for the subject passed.
Okay.
Okay, so the credit acquired under paragraph 1 shall let the candidate attempt to pass the relevant examination in the attempt and within the period specified in paragraph 6 or rule 33 or paragraph 5 of rule 33A.
Okay.
So candidates who have obtained credit in all subjects of any examination will be considered as having passed of that examination.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so we talk about the result. Immediately after the result of the examination has been decided by the board, the registrar shall notify every candidate whether he has passed or failed the examination he set for.
Okay.
As proceed, no further information of the result of the examination shall be given by board to any person, and no examiner shall disclose the result of any examination or any matter connected with the result except to the board or as the board may direct.
Yes, okay.
Okay, go to appeal. So any candidate dissatisfied with the marking, so they can appeal within 30 days of the date of the recipient of notification of the result.
Right. Okay.
Okay, the board shall not consider any appeal before the payment of the fee prescribed in the fifth schedule. So you have to pay first before your appeal.
Yeah, pay first, right?
Okay, the fees for the board examination are prescribed in the fee schedule. Okay, this is well known already. Any candidate who has not paid the prescribed fee shall not be allowed into examination center.
Correct.
Okay, candidate withdrawing from the examination at any time but not within 4 weeks before the state examination shall forfeit 50% of the fee.
Okay.
Okay, candidate withdrawing within 4 weeks of the state examination shall forfeit 100% of their fee.
Yeah.
Okay, candidate absenting themselves from the whole examination shall forfeit all their fees, and candidate producing medical certificates acceptable to the board certifying they were met and capable of sitting the examination due to illness shall have the whole or part of their fees returned.
Okay, correct. But they have to apply. It's not to
With medical cert.
Yeah, correct. Okay, so the diploma.
We go to diploma. The board shall offer a diploma on every candidate who has passed the Part 2 examination of the estate agent examination under Rule 33A.
Okay, so that is concerning the estate agent's exam.
Only lah.
Yeah, the board will only confer the diploma to estate agent because the board do not conduct the exam for the valuers. The valuers is conducted by RISCM for the board. So the award come from the board actually. Okay.
Okay, so examination committee. So the board may appoint from among its member and other suitable person registered under the Act an examination committee to organize and conduct this examination. Okay, the examination committee may, with the approval of the board, issue such instruction to examiners, supervisor, invigilators, and candidate as it considered necessary for the conduct of this examination.
Right, correct. And they will be paid a fee according to the practice schedule. So thank you, Min Kai.
Okay, that's all.
Right, thank you. Next.
Okay, thank you, Min Kai. So I would like to add on to MK1 for the rule number 33 and rule number 33A. So there are two examinations conducted by the board. The first one is the valuer examinations, and the second one is the estate agents examination. And then according to Total One yesterday, the property manager examination maybe will coming soon.
Yes.
Will be inserted in the examination later on. And then in our opinion,
not being approved by the minister. We have submitted the draft. The board has submitted the draft of the amendment of the rules, but the rules has not been approved by the minister.
And in our opinion, the valuer examination said by Professor Wan just now is prepared by the RSM for now, but the examination is conducted by the board.
Yeah.
And then the estate agent examination, in our opinion, I think it's fully prepared and conducted by the board, but not the RSM.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then I pass it to Susan.
Okay, thank you. Yo Kayun. Susan?
All right, next I will explain about the two examinations in more detail. And we have do a comparison table. So as we can see, for the valuers examination can be divided into a few subjects. The first one is the first examination, and then followed by intermediate examination, and a final examination, or also known as a direct final examination, and finally a test of professional competence. As for the estate agents examinations, there are 3 subjects, and the first one is part 1 examination, followed by part 2 examination, and finally a test of professional competence. And like mentioned by Ain'ni before, the passing mark for each of these subjects is 50%. So meaning that if the candidate fail to pass the subject, they will be given a chance to do further attempts. But according to the rules, there are some requirements on the attempts. For the first examination under the valuers examination, the candidate is allowed to attempt not more than 3 times within a period of 3 years. And for intermediate examination, not more than 3 attempts and within a period of 4 years. And for the final examination, not more than 5 attempts within a period of 5 years. And if the candidate has passed the test of professional competence, TPC, it indicates that the candidate has passed the valuer examination. Now we look at the estate agent examination. It is actually quite similar with the valuer examination. If the candidate does not achieve the requirement of 50%, they are allowed to have more attempts, but there are also some that there will be requirements, which is not more than 3 attempts within a period of 3 years. And then for the part 2 exam, not more than 3 attempts within a period of 4 years. And finally, if they pass the PC exam, they will be considered they have passed the estate agent examination, and then will be given the diploma cert. And that's all from us. Thank you.
Okay. Can you go back to the slide where you have the box, the amendment already?
This one.
The last one.
This one.
Yeah, the comparison. Okay. Comparison between the Valuers Act and the estate agent. Okay? You can see both. Let's say that the Valuers Act is conducted as of now by the RISM, and it has all the levels, the 4 levels, 3 levels, and finally at the TPC level. Everything has to go to so it can be registered as a registered.
Professor, I can't hear you clearly.
Okay,
Your sound is like putus.
Can you hear now?
Yeah. Much
The
clearer.
line in UN is very bad now. The Valuers Act is basically currently offered by RISM together with the board, but it's very much handled by the RISM. Okay, and only the estate agent examination is fully handled by the board. Right. However, both TPC are carried out by the board. We used to have a TPC joined together with RISM sometimes in 1980s. I think Dr. Norosli has gone through the TPC conducted jointly by the RISM and the board. I think it's after, because I had my TPC in 1988. I think after that, Dr. Norosli go to the 1989 exam. That particular year, I think only in 1989, 1990, there is a joint TPC by the board in RISM. After that, come back to the board. No more joint TPC with RISM, right? So as of now, when you talk about TPC, is wholly, totally by the board, right? So after that, only then you can be eligible to register as a registered agent or registered valuers. Okay, so that is about the exam. It has to be passed. Kalau, for example, when say part 1 examination, for example, for the estate agent, not more than 2 attempts within a period of 3 years. There's about 5 papers for the part 1. If you make 3 attempts, mean you register for the exam three times, and you have to register within 3 years. So there is dua perkara. There is two requirements. The attempts and the years. It has to be 3 attempts within 3 years. Anything more than 3 years, then you dapat the syarat. And if you go beyond 3 years, if you go beyond the 3rd attempt, then you have to start all over again. Okay? I think that's about all. Any question for the examination part? This is very long for the exam. Ada soalan? No? I think I'm going to stop here. So the next 3 groups we present in the next tutorial classes. And I will post to you on the next tutorial question as well for those yang belum saya bagi nama. Nanti kan dia kata saya tak panggil nama dia. Okay. Can I just present to you now? You have got the presenting, on the soalan tutorial, soalan assignment, Oh, salah. Sekejap. Okay, can you see my screen? Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes, doctor.
Yes,
Yes.
Professor.
Okay, it's about your assignment, Boleh nampak ya? Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So we have your
Boleh,
assignment.
boleh.
Right? You have to submit this assignment in week 13. I have already given the instruction in Spectrum, but the submission is in week 13. Okay, boleh dapat tak? Okay, and then take note on the requirements here that you need to have to use font, area font size 11, spacing 1.5, about 4,000 words only, and you must submit the turn-in at maximum of 25%. Okay, why we put turn-in? Sebab kita tak nak you copy and paste from your friends. Okay, so these are the questions, and this assignment carries 20% mark. Take note that we have 40% continuous assessment. We have 10% for test 1, which will be held in week 3. We have another 10% of test 2, week 12, and then you submit your assignment in week 13. Boleh? Right. Take note, the test, if you are very confident you are not doing well, your test, within 14 weeks, you should approach the lecturer to redo your test, because you can actually upgrade your test mark within 14 weeks. Do you get me? Boleh faham? Not only to this subject, other subject as well. Boleh faham Pak Iqbal?
Boleh, doktor.
You take your initiative. You should get your continuous assessment within that 14 weeks. Kalau lecturer lupa bagi, pergi tanya dia. And you can improve your continuous assessment. You cannot improve your exam result, you can improve your continuous assessment. Right, come back to this one. You can see the question is about Arif. He's now a graduate from Bachelor of Real Estate and currently working as a property executive with this consultant effective from November. The company is registered with the board. So we have gone through the registration with the board as a firm belongs to 3 groups: estate agent, valuer, and property manager. So it's not really specified here. The company is registered for which firm, because we have not yet gone through the firm, but basically kita ada 3 jenis firm, the valuers, the agent, and property managers. Okay, I have introduced, we have gone through yesterday. And Arif responsibility, if you can look through here, basically involved in the property management and also estate agency work. So if this is that experience, and if he intends to submit for the registered valuer, if he remains in his current employment with this company, property consultant, who are also probably also a valuer, but as far as Arif is concerned, he's not given the job as a valuer, but he's only given the job as a property manager and estate agent. So in this case, you can advise Arif, if he remains with the firm, what should be done by him to become a registered valuer, estate agent, and property manager. So if he resigns and joins other firm, what will be the process by Arif? So ada 2 scenario that we have to address. One is if he maintains with the current employer. 2, if the current employer refuses to provide him the training for the valuers. If he wants to be the valuers, he has to resign and join a valuation company, because you have to be supervised by a valuer before you can submit as a registered probationary valuer. Boleh? Ada soalan? Any question? Hello, Ashwin, ada soalan?
Tak ada.
Tak ada. Yang lain ada soalan? Wahida ada soalan? Chua, you still here?
Ada.
Chua?
Yes, doctor, yes.
Ada lagi. Okay. Ada soalan?
Doctor.
Chua? Yes, yes. Yes, yo, Kayun.
Arif now is doing two jobs, is it? Property management and agency.
Yes, yes. So he's not doing any valuation job. He's not given the valuation job. So actually, technically, he is not eligible to become a PV. He cannot submit for PV unless the valuers, dia boleh submit for, unless the company give an undertaking that he will be given a valuation job later on, not in this first. Unless his appointment is as a valuation executive or just a property executive.
Doctor,
Yeah.
did he got the estate agency license already?
No, dia baru habis graduate ni. Baru graduate 2020. Baru start kerja 2020. Bacalah soalan ni, Kayun.
Okay, okay. Thank you, doctor.
Okay, malas betul ya. Okay, lagi malas baca ya. Ada soalan, dia baru graduate and he is appointed by this KBS property consultant and it's not specified. So it's up to you to come with your own assumption, with your own facts to support the decision whether he should remain with his current employer or he should resign and join other property firms. Boleh? So it's open. That's why we leave it to you to come up with your own facts and assumptions. Boleh? Ada soalan? Chua, ada soalan? Zat, ada soalan?
No, doctor.
Tak ada soalan? Zat, ada soalan?
Tak ada, doctor.
Tak ada. Okay, I'm going to stop the class now. Boleh? we're going to meet again next Monday. Right? Okay. Thank you to all. Boleh?
Boleh. Thank you, doctor.
Bye.